Hello. Hello, everyone. You never know when you go live unannounced how many people are going to show up. You always hope it's more than one. I always hope it's at least one. So I'm a little more prepared today than normal. I'm not winging it today. I have some things prepared. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I'll basically, excuse me. I'll start at 1:30. I'll give some people a chance to get in here. Hey Grams. One of those also here. PSA. I think there's eight cards in there. Excuse me, I have a little cough. And today, of course, is the end of the entries into the 151 stuff, the Blooming Waters. There's been I don't know, maybe 3,500 entries. There's been a lot of entries. Hello, 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 hello. So I came a little more prepared today. I printed some things out. You know, I'm always trying to show you stuff on my cell phone and you can't see it because of glare. So I printed out 4 photos that I wanted to show you. I hope I win this time. Do you know how hard it is to win when there's 3,500 people entering? I have to send a new group of cards to PSA. I wanted to do it every month. So I'd keep, as one group came in, another group would go out, another group would come in, another group would go out. That went by the wayside. So 3 more minutes, I'll start. I got some cards to rip, not a whole bunch, but there should be some interesting ones in here. I got some other stuff to show you, which I can't even believe. Oh, that's cool. The Full Art Meowth is a beautiful card. I can't even believe that some of the stuff I have, like I have back a long time ago, I don't know why. I love the movie Star Wars. So a long time ago, the comic book came out. So I said, let me buy one. I bought a Star Wars comic book and I put it in a sleeve. You know, they have comic book sleeves with the cardboard backing. And I wrapped it in bubble wrap and I put it in a little cardboard box and I put it on a shelf and forgot about it for 50 years. So I was doing a card show and I said, what is this box? And I pulled the box down and I cut it open and I opened it up and I'm going, oh my God, I forgot I had this. So I have an original Star Wars comic book, issue 1 from a long time ago. And it's in, I should send it out and get graded. I don't know. I think it's hard to get 10s in comic books, but I can't imagine I'd get less than an 8 in this comic book. Because I put it away immediately and I took very good care of it. So it's finally warming up here. Where's here? Yeah, not here. We still have rain and miserable weather. How to enter in live giveaway. I haven't announced it yet, so keep your pants on there, young brain. Hello, Chase. Okay. So 1 more minute, I'll start showing you some stuff. It's pretty interesting what I have here. And then we'll expose this in a little while, but I want to show you. You know, I've been trying to show you photos for a while. So I have really good cameras. You know, I worked for a company in my retirement years for something to do. I worked for a company called Life Touch, which is a yearbook company, but I did their sports only. I didn't do portraits. I'm not a portrait guy. That's kind of boring. But I would photograph their sporting events, uh, proms, graduations, stuff like that. But this is what I love doing the best. This is an actual photo of mine. This is two schools in North Jersey. One's Tenafly, which has the highest SAT scores in the state, and one's Teaneck, who were the state champions. I think you'll be able to guess who's who. Now, this is on regular paper. As a picture, it's much more vibrant. But how cool is that? Hello there, DK or DBK. So this is Teaneck up here, and this is Tenafly down here. Look at where now this guy right here was probably 6'3", 6'4". Look where his head is in relationship to this guy's body. Oh boy. My dad went to Rumson. Rumson, Bruce Springsteen lives there, or used to live there. I don't know if he still does. Hello. So this is the kind of photos I would take. They had this hanging in their hallway. They blew it up into a nice, and when I took this photo, it was like a 40 megapixel. So it was a really big photograph. And they blew it up into a big photo and hung it in their hallway by the gymnasium. Now, back when the kids were younger, I'm going to show you a picture of one of my boys here. He is now 46, 44, 41. Hey, and so this will show you how old this picture is. But when they were younger, like my son in the picture here is probably about 9, maybe. When they were younger, we would go to the hotels where the hockey teams and the basketball teams and the football teams, where they're all staying. So, and we just get autographs and pictures with everybody. So here's one. A lot of people don't know who this is with them. Now, this boy in the picture in the lower part is maybe 9. Does anybody know who that is? There you go. And Perry figured it out. That is Wayne Gretzky. Now, the good news about Wayne Gretzky, we'd go to a hotel and there'd be nobody there for most teams. When Gretzky came to town, we'd go to the hotel and there'd be 50 people there. And Gretzky would sign one autograph for everybody. That's not Pikachu. That's Gretzky. So that's my third son, who's now 46, 44, 41. So now, I tried showing you this, but it was too glary. That's my second son, who's 44. He's the muscles one. He's got some muscles, let me tell you. Does anybody know who that is? We talked about it enough the other day. That is Fred. Yes, you're right. Yeah, on the left. Not the one on the right's my son. The guy with the muscles. My son, trust me, and he's got muscles, let me tell you. But that's Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. Yep. So he was there with his mom. Notice my son's tattoos. He's got sleeves, but my son has the arms that are capable of sleeves. Fred Durst, you're right. And you notice my son has a sling on his right arm. He tore a bicep. He lifts heavy weights, heavy, and he tore a bicep. Fred now lives in, I think it's Franklin, Tennessee. He just moved there. Yes, hello. Now, This next one's a picture of me. I had to have a picture of me. So, who's that with me? You'll never guess his name. Nobody knows his name. They know who he is, they know his group, but they don't know his name. That's right. You're right, TCG. You're right. But what's his name? We were. This is a good story. Yeah, Davy boy, you're half right. Oh, there it is. Austin Larkin knows it. Very good. Red Foo. And the other one is it's Uncle and Nephew. The other one is Sky Blue. Every day I'm shuffling. Great song, right? What a great song that was. That was the song of the summer. Sky Blue. Yep. So here's the story, the backstory there. We were in a steakhouse on Sunset Boulevard in Hollywood. And that steakhouse has a mechanical bull in the middle of it. So you could ride it if you want. No, thank you. I don't need to be seen flying through the air. So I look over and there's this guy. And obviously, if you look at him, that's exactly how he looks in his concerts and his videos. So I said, "Oh my God, that's LMFAO." And there were about 10 of us having dinner. It was my family and their girlfriends and boyfriends and whoever it was. It was just my close knit family. 10 of us having dinner in this steakhouse. And I said, "That's LMFAO." I said, "I'm going to go over and get a picture with him." And everybody's like, "Don't bother him. Don't bother him." I said, "He's in costume. If he didn't want to be bothered, he wouldn't be wearing wearing his party rock anthem clothes. Come on." And he drives a Lamborghini. Or back then, this was a long time ago. I had hair. Well, I didn't have hair. So you heard me say, I bought a Star Wars comic. Star Wars 1. I have Star Wars 1 issue. But I also have stuff like this. Have you ever seen these? That's one. How about this? I went into an antique store in Las Vegas and they had comic books. And I said, "Oh my God." And I just started grabbing the good ones. Where do you see some of the ones I got? The big stars. Now, this is kind of unusual, but some of you know, you'll all know who this group is. You probably don't listen to their music, but I've seen them 2 times in concert. So that's down here is Violent J, and that's Shaggy 2 Dope. The fact that I know their names is pretty miraculous. But I'm not a juggalo, but my children have juggalo tattoos. The Hatchet Man, ICP, Insane Clown Posse. And these are in, mint condition. They were in an antique store. I couldn't believe it. I saw all these comics and I just started going through them. And there was I'd go through 100 comics and pick out 1 or 2. Like here. These are bands my sons liked. My seconds, the one that likes Limp Bizkit. He was into these heavy metal and these kind of bands. Yeah, I know ICP still has the Juggalo Wrestling. Now, I took my boys to see this group in concert. So I've seen Def Leppard in concert after the drummer had lost his arm in the car accident. Then I thought, I'm saying who's the most, those were really super popular groups. I said, but this group is super popular. Now I know a lot of people love Kiss. So every Kiss comic book I found in that bunch, I had to look through 1,000 comics. Every Kiss comic book that was in there ended up inside my bag. Can't get it autographed by all of them anymore, unfortunately. But still, pretty cool to have Kiss comic books. And I mean, I still have a couple more. Has anybody ever seen these things? Oh, this is Kiss number 1. First big issue. Are these their albums? I don't know. Like, this was Psycho Circus. Is that an album of Kiss? I don't think I have any Metallicas in here. I still got more. Destroyer, Part 3. Hold on. I just don't want them to come spilling over here. Yeah, Destroyer. I'm going to put these. I don't want them to spill over. They're slippery because they're in these little plastic things. So let's put this in here, and I'll just be careful. I have like 3 more. Pretty cool artwork. Two more. I don't know if I have duplicates. I mean, I just, whatever they had, I took. That was the cool thing about living in Las Vegas. They had some amazing antique stores. Amazing. I have classic antique casino chips from casinos that have been torn down. I have a whole collection of old casino chips. Let's see. But just in case anybody just came on and didn't see this, that's my son with Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. So I don't think I'm going to make it to 120. Okay, let's see. Let's open up and see what we have in here. I think there's only 8. Yeah, there were some nice things about living in Las Vegas. We never had weather like this, where it rained for 4 days in a row, 5 days in a row, a week, 2 weeks. Oh, man. Okay, 8 cards. 2, 3. Yeah, 8. Okay. Now, again, I know what the grades are because You can see when you send into PSA, as they're about to send them back to you, yeah, I do know the grades. They publish the grades on their website, and they try to get you to sell the cards to somebody. No, thank you. I don't need to sell the cards. So here's this is only from last year. It's a pretty cool card. Mega Lucario. These all came out of packs and went right to, except for one, went right to PSA. So this came back a 9. You know, I'm happy with 9s. Not everyone can be a 10. Now, this one, these are quickly becoming 2 of my favorite Pokemon. I really want to get the Lovebirds, but it's it's way too expensive. So this came back 10. Latios and Latios. Tag team. I love tag team cards. They should do that more often. This was a promo. So if I'm not mistaken, it was either Riolu or Alakazam. If I'm not mistaken, I really can't remember. So this is Riolu. This came back 9. I love sending out promos because you don't see a lot of them. A lot of times promos are overlooked. This is another one of those. I think, again, this was the other half of the promos. You can either get an Alakazam if you bought it, and was it the ETB? I think it might have been the ETB or the Riolu. So I ended up getting both just so I can get both promos. 9. Now this one I think I pulled live, probably several months ago. Did I pull this live? No. This was I think the big one from that set. Cynthia's Garchomp. And it came back 10. It's kind of an expensive card as a 10. I think it might be $350 to $400. The next card I'm saving for last because there's a story there. So let's put that up there. This one was also a very big card at the time. Gardevoir. This one came back a 9. Special illustration rare. It's always nice when you send back special illustration rares. Here's another special illustration rare. Not a very, this is a more common card, but I just like it. Mega Latias. Came back a 9. So now, let's put these in this box. I have a story about the next one. I'm going to pull a box out just to show you. I have a lot of boxes like this. A lot. These are commons. And there might be double rares in here. I mean, and it's just, this one's mixed. This one's not been sorted. So when you look inside it, there's a couple cards. Let me see. Let me see if I have anything. I'm just going to grab a couple and look and see if there's actually anything. So there's a hollow. So I do have hollows in there. I have a lot of cards. A lot of cards. And I know I have double rares in here. And like here's another. Oh, that's a reverse hollow. Here's a. Just it's a lot of cards. There's 1,000 cards in this thing. So somehow, some way, I'm going through one of those boxes, and I can't remember why I was going through one of the boxes. And I saw this card, and I said, "Oh, that's odd. I put that in a common box." And I'm looking at it, and I'm going, "Oh man, what am I, nuts?" It's a promo. Let's see if I can get the. Let's see. You can see now. You can see the promo part. How it's okay. Came back an 8. It was in a box with commons. It's 10 years old. I sent it out. Man, if this was a 10, that would have been a jackpot. But it's an 8. It's still an expensive card. Isn't that a cool card? I love that. I love Magikarp. I'm saying that, I'm just letting you know. I love Magikarp. So let's see. I'm going to just pull this down for a second. Hold on. And I want to look at something. And I have a story to tell. I just can't remember. Oh, okay. Weird things that have happened to me. So, when the kids were first being born, we lived in a town called Fair Lawn, New Jersey, and we lived in a townhouse. From Radburn, it was the first planned community in, I think, the United States. It's really nice. Really nice. I'm getting a thing. My throat's getting a little dry. So as I started having more kids, we needed a larger house and a more property. So we moved up to a town called Mahwah, New Jersey. Hey, Ben. Mahwah, New Jersey. That's where I was a coach. I was a coach for baseball, soccer, hockey, street hockey. What am I leaving out? So we used to go to Disney World every year. I had a converted van. It was beautiful. Had a beautiful paint job. Had a nice interior. We go to Disney World every year for 2 weeks. Right around, we'd always get down there the day of the Daytona 500. So on the way home, we'd stop at South of the Border. Does anybody know South of the Border? South of the Border is this cheesy place. I think it's in South Carolina, maybe right at the border of South Carolina and North Carolina. And as you're driving towards it, it'll say, Pedro says, and they'd had all these stupid signs. They had the sign upside down, the sign in Spanish. They just had stupid signs. So we would stop in there and get fireworks because, in some of these states, you can buy fireworks, no big deal. In New Jersey, you might as well try and buy a cannon. It's probably easier to get a cannon or howitzer than it is to buy fireworks. So now it's the 4th of July, and I have I have one of these big pack of fireworks, 1,000 firecrackers on one fuse. So we had a big property. We had 2 acres of land. So the house was back off the road, probably 150 feet. It was a big house. So I went up by the road, and the kids are all sitting on the front steps, and I lit the pack of 1,000 firecrackers and ran back to the house. And they start going off. Boom, 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 boom. They go off for a good, I don't know, half minute. And what happens? When that many go off, it forms like a cloud of smoke that is kind of a bluish gray. You can't miss fireworks smoke. So 1,000 of them. I finally gets to the last one. There's this huge cloud of smoke on the road, and here comes a cop car. And the cop stops his car, rolls his window down, and says, "Cut it out." And I said, "No problem." Oh God. Yeah. So let me tell you a little update on Grandma. Oh, let me show you something. Oh, I do card shows, and kids are always saying, "Excuse me, are you Grandpa? Are you?" Because they see me on so many TikTok and YouTube and Instagram videos. So I got a T-shirt. There's no mistaking it, right? Grandpa. Hold on. I'm gonna grab another T-shirt. I have to get it. So I said to Granny, "Are you gonna ever go on YouTube with me?" So she said, "You get me a pink grandma T-shirt." Peg Bundy. So I got her. It's a pink. There's not a lot of pink T-shirts on in Amazon. You can see where. Okay. So yeah, I just had to tell you that story about that was my. Oh, there's one more. Again, living in Mawa, I had a softball team. I was the coach of a men's softball team. We had a great team. Let me get back to Grandma. I'm going all over the place now. So she's been home. Today's the second day she's home. She still has a little pain. She has oxycodone painkillers and Tylenol, and but she's very mobile. She has a walker. She's supposed to use a walker, but she's very mobile. Every 10 minutes, every hour, she's supposed to walk around the house inside for 10 minutes. So that's what she's been doing just to get used to walking around. It's a big operation. So to have your hip replaced. So she's doing well. She's downstairs. She has incisional pain is what she has. She doesn't have hip pain. The hip pain is gone. She had hip pain for 6 months to a year, and now it's gone. So I mean, we used to when we were in Paris. I'll tell you the stories about Europe. When we were in Paris, we would walk 10, 12 miles a day, and no big deal. And then, boy, when hip pain sets in, the walking stops. So I'm a coach of a men's softball team. We played games at nights under the lights in Mahwah, New Jersey. We had beautiful fields. And one day I'm home and I get a phone call from my third baseman, Mickey McFarren, the chief of police. He goes, "Hey, Mark, how's it going?" I said, "Hey, Mick, what's up?" He goes, "Listen, you got to come down to the police station." He goes, "I have a warrant for your arrest." I said, "Come on, Mick. What are you talking about?" He goes, "Yeah, I have a warrant here for your arrest." I said, "Give me a break." He goes, "Listen," he goes, "you have two choices. You come down to the police station, or we're going to send a squad car up to your house, and when they come to your house, we're going to have to put you in handcuffs in the back of the squad car." I'm like, "You're kidding me. What do I have a warrant for my arrest for?" "You got a parking ticket and failed to show." And I said, "Son of a gun." I had a computer business and I had trucks and several trucks, a lot of trucks. And one of my technicians got a parking ticket and just discarded it. Now, the truck is registered to me. So I never got notified. I had no idea. So I didn't show to a court date, and now they had a warrant for my arrest. So I'm a felon. And he goes, and bring a checkbook or a check for $38. I said, what's that for? He goes, well, you plead guilty, you sign the paperwork, you write a check for it's a $38 fine, and that's it, you're done. But I mean, how crazy is that? I'll tell you one more story about, I never get in trouble with police. You're going to be kidding me. Lived in Fairlawn before Mawa. Had a dog. I sent in, every year you had to renew the dog license. They'd send you something in the mail. You'd write them a check for like $15, send it to them. They'd send you the what are they called? The little dog tag things that go on their collar. So I sent the check. And you don't think about it. And I don't know, a month or two passes by, and I get a call from the town's animal warden or whatever, the dog catcher. And he goes, you never renewed his license. I said, I sent you guys a check. I said, yeah, I did. I said, that's no big deal. I'll send you another one. So I wrote a check. I sent him a $15 check. 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from the dog warden again. I said, he goes, you didn't, I said, I sent you another check. So I said, listen, I'll be right over. I'll just bring a check with me and I'll get the dog license. God, how crazy is this? I go over to the town hall, to whatever it's called, and I get a dog license. And I go home. A couple days later, 2 dog licenses show up in the mail. So now I have 3 dog licenses. Ooh, sounds like a group. 3 dog licenses. So a week passes and my doorbell rings. I open the door. There's a cop. He goes, hi, we have a citation for you for not having a dog license. I go, I have 3 of them. He goes, I have to give it to you. He gives me the citation. I sign it. I look at it. It's dated like 10 days earlier. I'm like, those sons of bitches, man. It's just a little money grab. I think the dog license was actually like $35. So I had 3 of them, so $105. So now I'm going to contest this. I'm going to go to court. So I'm in court in Fairlawn, New Jersey. Now, I had never been in a courtroom before. And the judge goes to this guy. You were arrested with X drugs on you. How do you plead? Not guilty. You were arrested with a gun on you. How do you plead? Not guilty. You were arrested for blah, blah, blah. How do you plead? Not guilty. It gets to me. You had an arrest for not having a dog license. How do you plead? The courtroom actually laughed. People in the courtroom laughed because here's drugs, here's DUI, here's guns, and dog licenses. So I said, I'm not guilty. I explained it to him. I said, listen, I sent them in. They said they never got them, but I got in the mail. I got 3 licenses. The judge goes, guilty. I wanted to say, you got to be blanking kidding me. So the fine was like, whatever, $35 court costs. Again, very similar to the licenses. So what I did was I went over to the animal control or whatever it's called. And I said, listen, I got 3 licenses. Can I turn 2 of them back in? And they said, yeah, sure. But I'm steaming. I mean, I wanted to just tell this guy where to go, man. But this really was not making me happy. And he ended up refunding me for 2 licenses. But man, what a joke. That was my first exposure to town government. And let me tell you something. Town government is a joke. That's dog licensing. Oh, Lord. So what else? What are some of it's just crazy. So let's start ripping some packs. I don't know how many here. I don't think I have that many. 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't end up going shopping because I was taking care of grandma. I wanted to go today, but I was a little lazy. Let me get a drink, and then I'll rip some packs here. My back's a little sore. Every time I sit in this chair for a long time, my back gets sore. Oh, in case you're wondering, what was my favorite vacation ever? When we went skiing in Switzerland. Well, it was a combination. First, we went to Italy, we went to Rome, we went to Florence, and then we took a train up to Switzerland and went skiing in Switzerland. That was probably my my favorite vacation of all time. Paris is a little seedy. I'll tell you before I let me tell you about the okay. Let's talk about the Rome and Florence vacation first. When I go on vacation to a place I don't know, I buy a book on that place and read up on it. So when we're going to Rome and we're walking through the Forum, and you have to understand, the Forum was basically Main Street Rome 2,000 years ago. And at one end was the Colosseum. So, and then so when you're looking, you're 2 blocks away from the Colosseum, looking towards the Colosseum, there's a hill on the right that goes up. It's called the Palatine Hill. Remember, Rome was built on 7 hills. And up on that hill is where the wealthy Romans would live. I don't know why. Yeah, I did visit Disneyland Paris. Yeah, we'll tell you that in a little while. See, Piss Off just wrote, I just got my mail call. I don't remember. I send out so much mail. I mean, hold on. This was today. I send out a lot of mail. For me to remember stuff is impossible. So we're walking around through the Forum, through all the old ruins. It's actually pretty interesting that these things are 2 years old. We went into the Colosseum. We spent a lot of time there, but we went up onto Palatine Hill where the wealthy people would live. And it was wonderful up there. Just all ruins. So now the Forum's here, the Palatine Hill's here. Then on the other side of the Palatine Hill is this big open field, but it's big from left to right. And on the other side, it's like sloped up, like it could be grandstands if it was. And because I had read up, I knew what that was. That was called Circus Maximus. Does anybody know what that is? They couldn't be looking up at the peasants, of course. Yeah. Circus Maximus. Circus Maximus is where they held the chariot races. So there was this huge field. There was the big shape of an oval, and on the other side is where everybody would just sit on the grass and watch the chariot races. Just nuts. So to get to know, that's what one of the things I do. I read up on where I'm going just so I know. I have, but like without reading up, I would have had no idea that's where the chariot races were. So now we were in Rome and we did all the usual things. We went to the Vatican. I took a picture of the creation of man with the 2 fingers coming together. I got yelled at by the people. You're not supposed to take pictures, but I didn't use a flash because I have good cameras. And I got really nice pictures. And we went to Florence. Florence is beautiful. Rome is a dusty, dirty city. When you walk around Rome for the day, if you're wearing shorts, like white shorts and white socks and white sneakers, you're dirty. Rome is a dusty, dirty city. And there's a lot of scooters, like Vespas. You have to be real careful crossing the streets because once a light changes, say you're a block and a half from a light and it changes, all of a sudden here comes 50 Vespas. It's like a Vespa race. So you have to be careful. Florence is different. Florence is a walking city. And Florence has beautiful, I got to tell you that story. Oh my goodness. Beautiful, beautiful. Uh, the streets, the museums, just spectacular. I'm going to go back and show you a picture for a reason. You'll understand this in a minute. I showed people that were here earlier. I don't know who didn't see that, but that's my son with Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit. But that's not the one I want to show you. This is the one I want to show you. So I would take yearbook photos. This is a yearbook photo I took for Life Touch, and then I used something called Color Splash, I think, and I got rid of all the color except for the player and the basketball. Pretty cool photo. I used to handle, it's going to sound strange, like you may not believe me, I used to handle 60 schools in North Jersey. They all requested me because I took amazing photographs. And so we're in Florence, and you know, in Europe, they eat dinner at different times. They don't like we eat dinner here in the United States at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, something like that. And in Europe, they eat dinner at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. So here we are in Florence. We're in a piazza, right where Michelangelo's David used to be. You know, when Michelangelo's David was first carved, it was an outside statue. They moved it into the Academy Museum, Academia. And so now you have to go inside a museum to see the David. And let me tell you, man, that is one big statue. So we're sitting in, it's 10:30 at night. We're sitting in a piazza. I'm sitting here. Susan's there. To my right are three young ladies, and they're obviously Americans. You can pick out Americans real easy, but just the way they talk, they're obviously it's American accents. So I said, "Hey, ladies," I said, "You're from the States. We're from the States. Where are you from?" And one of them goes, "Oh, I'm from New Jersey." I said, "Oh, we're from New Jersey." I go, "Where in New Jersey?" She goes, "Bergen County." I said, "Oh, we're from Bergen County." I said, "We're in Bergen County." She goes, "Leonia." I said, "Oh, we're from Ridgewood." I said, I go, "When'd you graduate high school?" And I don't remember exactly what year it was. I'm going to say 2010. She goes, 2010. I said, "Wow. Did you play any sports?" She goes, "Yes. I played varsity soccer." I said, "Oh, that's awesome." I said, "I was a soccer coach." I said, "How'd you like your yearbook photos?" She goes, "Oh, they were awesome." I said, "I took them." How cool is that? Yeah. David is in the Academia, yeah, Galleria. Yeah. And they have all the other statues that are like halfway made, which is actually pretty cool. So now I'll tell you one more story. We are in Paris. Anybody been to Paris? So the Eiffel Tower obviously is what I would say. We stayed in Arrondissement 6. So when we would walk, we'd walk from ours over to Napoleon's tomb, to the Eiffel Tower, across the river to the Trocadero, up to the Arc de Triomphe, down the Champs-Élysées, to the Tuileries, all the way to the museum. Oh, what's the museum called? Oh, I can't believe I can't remember the name of the biggest museum in Paris. The Louvre. Across the river to the Luxembourg mansion, back to our hotel. It was 12 miles. We stayed on the left bank. So when you're going down the Seine, you're either on the left bank or the right bank. The right bank is where the Louvre is, where the Champs-Élysées, that's the big street with all the stores. And like when Princess Diana would stay in Paris, she'd be on the right bank. The left bank was more normal humans. So first of all, when we got there, we checked into our hotel. We went for a walk. Now all of a sudden, night's coming, and I said, "What street are we on?" I didn't know what street we were on. our hotel. So like, oh boy. But there's a 60-story building a couple blocks away from where we were. So we just headed towards that building and then just walked around the streets till we said, this is the street and there's the hotel. You got to be real careful. I learned my lesson that time. So now the Eiffel Tower. Okay. When you go to the Eiffel Tower, at one end there's a big field. The Eiffel Tower is basically on the river. So when you and the other way, there's a big field over to the I think it's called the War College, and you can actually see shrapnel marks from World War One because Paris was untouched in World War Two. The Germans didn't do anything to Paris. They wanted it as like a souvenir. So the building that's at the end of that long grassy area has all these pockmarks from bombs blowing up, and that's from World War One. But so now you get to the Eiffel Tower. Now the Eiffel Tower is obviously big. It was. Think about this: the pyramid, the Great Pyramid, that was built 4,000 years ago, was the tallest man-made structure until the Eiffel Tower came along in the 1800s. Think about that. So now the Eiffel Tower has a, they call it a lift, an elevator, but you could walk upstairs and there's 3 levels. So I wouldn't, we were older. We weren't going to walk up 3 levels. We walked up 2 levels because, as I said, to get into the elevator, you had to wait in line downstairs, and I used this line. The line goes from here to eternity. There were just way too many people. So you go up in the Eiffel Tower, and you get a really good view. Even at the second level, you get a really good view of Paris. But now, right next to the Eiffel, so the Eiffel Tower is right along the river, the Seine. But right next to the river is a carousel. So I'm setting up my camera so that the carousel will be in the foreground, but the Eiffel Tower is in the background. And I set it up with my shutter speed at a half a second. So the carousel would be spinning. You'd see motion, but the Eiffel Tower is just standing, it's not moving at all. So I'm setting up the camera. Now, one thing that I do all the time, whenever I see a group of people taking a picture, one of them's taking the picture and isn't in the picture. So I say, give me the camera. I'll take the picture. Get in the camera. Get in the picture. And then what I do, first of all, I always take a picture of me first. I turn it around and take a picture of me. And then I take a picture of them. So I do that all the time. So I'm setting up my camera, and here come 4 young ladies, young, like high school young. And they come over to me, and I'm with Susie, and they go, "Hi, do you remember us?" And I said, "No." I'm trying to think, did I take pictures of them somewhere? They go, "We're from Passaic Valley. You take our yearbook photos." In New Jersey. Here we are in Paris. 4 girls recognized me as their yearbook photographer. So and what I said to them was, you have to understand, I handle 60 schools. I see thousands of kids. And so unless you're 7 feet tall or have blue hair, I'm not going to remember you because you all blend in. But what I did say to them was, oh, then the whole group came over. It was the performing arts group. And I said, hey, everybody, they all knew who I was. I said, all set up right here. I set them all up with the Eiffel Tower in the background. And I took a picture of the whole group with the Eiffel Tower. And I blew it up. There were 20 of them. I blew it up into 28 by 10s and gave it to the school to hand out to the kids. So what I did say to them was, be careful. There's a lot of pickpockets here. Be very careful. Because we were in Montmartre, which is the eastern side of town, up the hill. And there's a beautiful church up there. the Church of the Sacred Heart, and there's arts. That's where all the artists lived. So the Monets and I'm not going to remember names right now, but they all lived up there. So you take a subway over a metro. You go over, and I'm coming up out of the metro with Susie. She's in front of me. I'm behind her, and there's 3 kids. We stop. There's a lot of levels, so we have to stop and rest. There's a lot of levels. So there's some kids that stop and rest with us. And Susie goes, "How come you guys are resting?" And they go, "Oh, we're smokers." But they said it in, they didn't speak English that well. So now we're walking up the level, and all of a sudden, I feel something in my right front pocket. Now that's where my wallet is, my right front pocket. So I look down, and there's a hand, and I just grabbed the hand, grabbed it, turned around, and there's a young lady behind me, one step behind me, trying to pick my pocket. And I let go of her hand, and I just went bam as hard as I could. She's lucky I didn't fist her. You know what I mean? That didn't sound good. She's lucky I didn't give her a fist, that I just smacked her. But I have a really big hand. I can bounce a basketball and catch it. And so I hit her. It hurt my hand. I hit her so hard across the face, like boom. She started. Oh, by the way, there were only 2 of them then. When we stopped, there were 3, 2 guys and a girl. Now there's only 2 of them, 1 guy, 1 girl. So my thought was, she had the smallest hand. She's going to reach into my pocket, take my wallet, hand it to the guy who's going to flip it to the guy down below, who's down at the bottom of that landing, and is going to go down into the subway. So if I realize my wallet's been taken, they could say, "We don't have your wallet." Because they didn't. They would have handed it to that guy. Well, I started yelling, "Pickpockets." First of all, when I hit her, she started screaming. I hit her. I wouldn't want to get hit that hard. I hit her. And then, she got what she deserved. Yeah, there's a lot of pickpockets over in Europe. You got to be very careful. So, oh my God, pickpockets in the Sistine Chapel. Good Lord. So I started yelling, "Pickpockets, pickpockets." Now, you have to understand, when I'm yelling, I have a very booming voice. So now we go up to the Sacred Heart Church, and everybody's coming out of the metro, and they're all like going, "Thank you for letting us know there were pickpockets there. Thank you, thank you, thank you." It was just interesting that you're picking me. Later on, a couple days later, we're in the metro waiting for a train to show up. And we're just strolling a little bit. And I always keep my wallet in my front pocket. And something said, "Turn around." And I stopped and turned, and there was a guy within inches of me, behind me. And I looked at him, and now you have to understand how big I am. You may not, you hear me say it all the time, but you might not realize exactly how big I am. You think about a normal sized guy, say a big guy who's 6'1", 200 pounds. I'm 3 inches taller and 100 pounds heavier. And I have big, like I said, the other day, I'm wearing a jacket, a size 56 chest. And I turn around, and there's this guy in front of me, and I go, "You gotta be blanking kidding me." Because he was going to try and pick my pocket. And he just turned around and walked away. Like, you gotta be kidding me. We stick out like sore thumbs, especially when you have the big camera hanging around your neck. And I had nice Nikon equipment hanging around my neck. But we wear different clothes than most Parisians. And also, one thing about being in the metro, if you're in the wrong car, you could be sitting near a guy who probably hasn't showered in a week, and he's wearing a polyester shirt that he hasn't cleaned in a month, and you just sit there and it makes your eyes water. It is so stinky. Oh my God. So one more thing that I that I had no idea. This is how naive I was. I'm down in the subways in New York City. And every time I go into this, now this is when I had my computer business. So this is back in the 90s. And I was much younger, obviously. I was 40 years old, and I was just in prime shape. So I'd be down in the subway in New York City, and there were always a lot of women hanging around me in the subways. And I'm like, I'm just waiting for the next train. You wait 10 minutes, and all of a sudden there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 women hanging around, within 15 feet of you. And I'm like, wow, that's weird. What the hell's going on? And so when I said this to my Susie, I said it was always strange that I was in the subway and women were always hanging around me. And she goes, I'll be nice. She says, you idiot. Hello, Carl Chaos. Carl Chaos. She goes, you were their protection. They were afraid being down in the subway. And when they saw you, they said, I'm going to go stand near him because nobody will mess with me if he's around me. Things you don't think about. I had no idea why that I was actually their secret service. And it was a secret to me. That's the sad part. So let's rip some of these. I got 8 packs here. You're going to have you're going to have to help me because I am terrible. Hey, by the way, I've been shipping out a lot of cards this past couple weeks. I hope everybody's been getting them. Only once in a while does somebody say my mail never arrived. Not too often. I send out a lot of stuff. Here we go. First pack. You're going to have to help me with this because you're going to realize I know nothing about Pokemon. I know probably 100 Pokemon, and that's it. Okay. Hippodon. Am I right? Hippodon. Please tell me I'm right. Please. Hippodon. Nobody said you're right. Yes, yes. This one, I've seen it how many times? I have no idea who this is. No idea. Who is this? Spritzy. This is Ghastly. Yes, Ghastly, of course. That's an easy one. This is Bunnelby. Man, I can't believe I got 3 of them out of 1 pack. Oh, that was Haunter. Of course, that's Haunter. I knew that was Haunter, and I said Ghastly. What a dope. Ghastly is like the circle with the, yeah, he floats. That's Haunter. Of course, that's Haunter. Oh, I can't believe I said it. I said Ghastly. I knew that's Haunter. And this is Bunnelby. Or is this Diggerby? Because Bunnelby oh, yeah, that's Diggerby. That's Bunnelby there. Diggersby, yes. But I said it before I looked, so I knew. Here's a I don't know their names. I don't know their names. So like I said, you may not, even though it's in my the rules for shipping and stuff, like rules for entering my giveaways. If something is over $50, I'll send it to you where there's a tracking number. If it's under $50, I just put it in an envelope and send it to you, because I'm not going to pay $10 for tracking or $8 for tracking for a $5 card. What is this? What is this? I don't know what that is. It looks like a bunch of keys on a key thing. Clef key. Oh, that makes sense. See, some of these names. Holucha, right? Holucha. This next one, I have no idea. No clue. I don't even know what it is. Looks like a cake decoration. Spupa. Really? This next one, too, this is the pinkest card you'll ever see. Who is that? Aromatisse? Oh my God. How do you know this stuff? I should know who this is. I have no idea. I'm literally clueless what Pokemon it is. 2 packs? 0 hits. Volcano. That makes sense because he's red. Volcanion. Yes. Come on, give me a hit. This is Ghastly. I can't believe I called Haunter Ghastly. How dopey. Yeah, I know. Like this looks, I don't know what that looks like. That looks like the Doug trio that's been undug. No idea what that is. Who is this? Binnacle. Okay. Ay, 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 ay. What is this? No clue. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Is that Durant up there? Boy, I just pulled a double rare, but that's really not a. I don't even know who this is. Do you? No idea. But I'm going to put it in a sleeve so I don't get yelled at. Where's my sleeves? Right there. Who is this? Zygardes? Okay. I think I know who this is. I think this is Raticate, who evolves from Rattata. That's Raticate, right? please tell me. Yay! Yay! Boy, do I suck at figuring out who these people are. Some of these packs are fighting me today. And I have nails. I mean, if you know, I trim them closely, but I still have them that I can actually rip things. Let's see. I do trim them, but they're there. Okay. Snorlax. Boy, I am striking out on these packs. Snorlax. That's an easy one. Come on. Anybody could get that. Is this Sveal? Sveal, maybe? Seal? Seal. I hope I get this right. Tyrant? Tyrant. Tyrant. Oh my God, I can't believe I got it. Okay, this is their version of the iPad. This is the PokePad. 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 Ah, gosh. I can't believe it. Do you have a favorite Pokemon? Of course I do. Hold on. And this looks like this evolves from Hippodon. So I don't know who this is. It looks like a hippo. Yeah, somebody knew. Lavacero knew. Hold on. Let me go over here. I think I have. La la la. No, I can't really see. I'll never get it. Yeah. I'm a looking. Here she is. Mimikyu. It's my favorite Pokemon, not my favorite Pokemon card. My favorite Pokemon card is the stained glass legendary birds, the 3 of them: Zapdos, Moltres, and Articuno. Hippotus. How's Gramps? I'm doing Mrs. Gramps. Oh, she's downstairs recuperating right now. She's not going up and downstairs. She can, but she's not. So we have We have a couch that's a fold-out couch, but she just loves that couch, and so she's staying on that couch. We have a sunroom, and it's just has a television, so it's a nice place. It's the bathroom's right there, the kitchen's right there, so she's close. Uh, I love Mimikyu, Gengar. Gengar is one of my favorites, and Charizards. If I see a Charizard, I buy it. I buy Charizards. I love Charizards. Oh, I have more right here. I should show them to you. Let's put these over here. This was my last group. I never put it away. Came back in 8. Right out of a pack, it came back in 8. What a bummer. If that was a 10, oosh. Okay. I still haven't had a double rares, my best hit so far. Not even an art rare. I mean, come on. Or a secret rare. Come on. But I'm really looking for a special art rare. Okay. Is this Hoot Hoot? Hoot Hoot Hoot? Oh, my cup is right there. It's got Charizards. Yeah, Coupon Lover sent me a cup and a t-shirt. And I've worn the t-shirt a couple times already. I don't know. I think you've seen it. And the cup, when I build a studio, I'm going to put the cup on display as like artwork. I'm not going to use the cup as a cup. I'm going to use it as Pokemon art. So thank you. That's Rowlet. Oh, man. Who's this? I don't know who this is. Salazzle. Here's Clefairy. That's simple. Clefairy. Is this Butterfree or is this the other one? Buttercute. I don't remember what the other one's name is. Cutie Butter. I don't remember. Tell me. What? Pavilion? Holy crow. And this, I have no idea who this, but this is terrible. I am pulling terrible packs. What the heck is going on? Beautifly. That's what I thought it was. Beautifly. Okay. This might be the one because my nose itches whenever I open these packs. I don't know why. And it's itching right now. Meow. Come on. Probopass or something like that. That's not Nose Pass. That's Probopass, right? Okay. I should know who this is, and I can't remember. Oh. I can't believe I am being skunked on these packs. Snivy. Oh. I can't remember. I would say Morpeko, but it's not Morpeko. I know it's not Morpeko. It kind of looks like Morpeko, but it's not. The Denny. Yeah. Yeah, I should know that. Here's a hollow. I don't know who this is. Man, I am really striking out tonight. Luxray. How do you know this? Oh my goodness. Here's a trainer. I have no clue who that is. No clue. I got 2 packs left. Yeah, keep showing off there, Lavacero. Show off. Yeah, it kind of does look like me. See, that's the problem. I haven't been into Pokemon long enough. Wow. Some of these are really. I've had a double rare in 6 packs. One double rare, that's my best? You gotta be kidding me. The streak continues. This is a fan fossil or something like that. I started in the fall of 2023. A fan fossil. I'll tell you how I got into Pokemon in a little bit. I'll tell you the Pokemon. I don't know who this is. It looks like Pinsir, but it's not. Sail fossil. Oh, that's what it is. Drapion. Nope, no clue. Here's a bird. I should know who it is. I don't. I am stunned at how horrible these packs have been. Fletchender. Oh, yeah. This, I think, is the Pokeswatter. Next one I know. Shaman, I think. Shaman, I think. Oh, my goodness. I am just horrible with cards. Okay. I can't believe that it's been this bad. This has been terrible. I got to go buy some stuff, and I'll tell you why in a second. Incredible. The worst 8 packs of my life. Snorlax. Snivy? Was that Snivy? Is that what that was? I can't remember. Wow. This next one looks like I had a dog and it would leave stuff like that in the grass. Man, do you believe a double rare? One double rare out of 8 packs. That's crazy. Generally, the Japanese packs are loaded. Terrible. But I'll just go through this briefly because I don't know everybody saw me. I did this live the other day, but I don't think everybody has seen it. I was really thrilled to pull this. Unfortunately, it came back an 8. Not the best. Right out of a pack, into a sleeve, into a protector, came back an 8. I got 9. I sent in 2 of them because I wanted to try and get, because I figure if you send in 2, you got a chance of getting a 10. I got a 9 and an 8. But my favorite cards, Latias and Latios are becoming 2 of my favorite Pokemon. So I have no problem with this. It's a nice card. The next card is a beautiful card. This was from the Ultra Premium Collection of 151. That is a beautiful card. No, I didn't hear what happened with PSA and a $40,000 card. This is Tarantula, but this is Chinese, if I'm not mistaken. PSA ruined a card a guy sent in. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and here's Spidops. Now, this is a 2-card set. This card goes on top of that card. If you notice, there's a thread, a spider thread coming down. So this is a 2-card scene. But unfortunately, one's in Chinese. PSA damaged and offered half. Wow. Now, I sent 3 of these in. 2 came back as 9s. I just love this card. It is not a special card. Nothing. It was a promo. Nothing special about it. I just love the card. So I sent 3 of them in. 2 of them came back as 9, and 1 came back as 10. I saved the best for last. My favorite card. The stained glass of the 3 legendary birds. Man, but it's a 9. I had one of these as a 10. I brought it to a card show. I said, I'm going to price it too high. Nobody will buy it. I'm going to price it high so nobody will buy it. I priced it at $400 and somebody gave me $400 for it. I'm like, damn. This is my favorite card. There's also another card that I really like that is Pikachu and Mimikyu on the same card. It's a promo from several years ago. It's actually a very pretty card. To see Pikachu and Mimikyu on the same card. I have one of those graded. I have a box back there with a handle that'll hold 150 or 175. It'll hold 175 graded cards. I have a lot of graded cards in there. I have 2 boxes, actually. So now I'm just going to show for people that haven't seen, I want to show you 2 things for people that haven't seen, because I see the numbers. Up here, I can see the numbers up here. How many people are here. And the other day, we had the Limp Bizkit giveaway. And that's Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit with my son. And then me with Party Rock Anthem, baby. Party Rock Anthem. Red Foo. Red Foo. And one more time. It's my son with Gretzky. And we have met every major back then. From the late 80s to the late 90s, we met every major hockey player on the planet. So, anybody have any questions? I'm done. I'm talked out. Some of the best music around. See, I listen to Chicago. I listen to Styx. I listen to Billy Joel. Thanks for being here, Carly. So, yeah, I don't know how long I've been on, but I've been on for, I don't know, maybe an hour and 15 minutes to an hour and a half. I didn't do a sneaky. I was going to do a sneaky this week. I didn't do a sneaky. Oh, I've been kind of preoccupied with Grandma. And as I showed you before, she said she'd come on with me as long as I got her a pink t-shirt that said Grandma. And she didn't say, I said, I'll get you one that says Granny. And she said, no Granny, Grandma. I like calling her Granny because I tell people, if you get me upset, I'm going to send Granny to visit you. Okay. You know you've entered too many times if you get this message from me. Just want to let you know. If it says, read the rules of entering my giveaways, if that's all it says, that means you've entered too many times. I had somebody today that entered so many times that I said, I'm going to delete him from the giveaway. I said, he entered so many times. I said, I wonder if he did that just to get me upset. And so I went over and I went, and I'll tell you one other thing. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, I caught somebody who created 2 names and had entered on 2 different names, and I knew it was the same person. And so when that happens, I delete them from the channel. So because I don't want anybody cheating. It's how hard it is to hold on. You know how hard it is to win this? 3,500 entries, 1 person. And if you're going to cheat and enter your name 2 times under 2 different names, I don't deal with cheaters. I'm sorry about that. I just don't like it. And of course, this is going live tomorrow. I have to find more Crown Zenith stuff. This is not easy. Look at the back of this thing. 14 packs. I have some packs. They were $20 each. There's 14 of them in here. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. So the last you can enter today till 8 o'clock. If you haven't entered, it's the 151 giveaway right here. Take a picture. Only the best technology. I got to get new things. They're starting to shred up there. Oh, by the way, when I showed you that Latios and Latios, the full art one that came back as a 10, it's a $350 card. So I was happy. It's a beautiful card. I'm going to keep. That's going into my collection. Because if I bring it to a card show and I price it at $450, somebody will buy it. It'll just piss me off. So I shouldn't say that. It wouldn't. I've already entered. I know you have. People, this is the latest thing people write. I don't know if I'd entered. Can you check for me? And then I go and look and he's entered 4 times already. And I'm like, yeah, this will be your 5th time. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. I'm looking for questions. There's a little side. Don't enter on the line. Oh, a giveaway. What am I going to give away? I didn't pull anything nice. I have an idea. I was going to say Wayne Gretzky, but most people will spell his name wrong. Please do not enter in the live stream. Yeah, what happened, I think, the last live stream I did, I had music on it. I took it down because I didn't want to I realized I could get a strike from YouTube, so I took it down. I deleted it. I don't need any strikes. What can I use as a giveaway code? Hold on. This isn't something you say in your normal life. Okay, to enter the giveaway on any video, just say unknown. UNOWN. Unknown on any giveaway. Just say unknown. UNOWN. Don't spell it wrong. In fact, don't spell it correctly because that's wrong. UNOWN. That's all. Just say unknown, and I'll have a giveaway in a day. Tomorrow's maybe by Monday I'll have it because I can't really. It gets too crazy with so many giveaways. If I screw it up, I'm sorry. It's very easy to screw things up. Trust me. And I'll try and have a nice giveaway. I'll figure out something. Maybe I'll give some unknowns away. Ooh. Or the lenticulars. Ooh. I have old stuff. I'll figure out something nice. Don't worry about it. So just say unknown, UNOWN. And this is Grandpa saying thank you. Yeah, you can put it on here. You could put it. Somebody wrote unknown and spelled it wrong. Oh, God. Okay, you can put it on this one, too. I don't have to take this down because I didn't do anything that would cause a strike against me. I can't have strikes against me by YouTube. That's why I try not to curse. And I try. When I put that, I realized I put music. Somebody said, hey, Grandpa, you put music on. And I was like, oh, darn. I put music on. That's not good. So, yeah, just say unknown on this video. That's cool. On any video. Because when I search, it searches all videos looking for unknown. And you can enter. What time is it now? It's almost 3 o'clock. So you can enter till 8 o'clock tonight. I'll give you 5 hours. After 8 o'clock, I'm going to shut it off. So this is Grandpa saying thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And I love you guys, and good luck with that 151 and the Crown Zenith, which starts tomorrow. Good luck. Man, oh man, there's just so many people. Sorry about that. So, and I got to come up with an idea for after Crown Zenith, but I think I have an idea. So, thank you very much, everybody. You take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Ciao. That's how you spell it. CIAO. Ciao. This is Grandpa signing off. Take care now. Bye bye.